Welcome, all of you, to the first edition of the Global Health and Medicine Education Expo. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And of course, we today we are having a very nice session on alternative route into medicine and pharmacy by Swansea University, UK. I have with me today Ms. Cecilia Wu. She is the Internationalization and Recruitment Manager at the Swansea University, and she is leading in international student support for programs that are offered at the medical school. Cecilia has over 10 years of experience in the higher education, particularly in internationalization, and offers guidance on all aspects of becoming a student at Swansea University Medical School. So let's hear from Cecilia. Over to you, Cecilia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We're very pleased to be here today to tell you more about Swansea University Medical School. So just to give you, just to make sure that my screen is and that you can see my slide. There we are. So thank you for joining us today. I'm Cecilia. I'm from Swansea University. I'm medical school, and my role is here to support international students coming to also study at Swansea Medical School, and also support about your student journey from the point of application to the point that you arrive to Swansea before I pass you on to our team. So today I'm going to give you an overview of Swansea University and a bit about the medical school. The courses that you can study with us, and talk about an alternative into medicine and why it's an alternative route. We're slightly different here at Swansea, and I'll also give you a bit of an overview of our pharmacy course, and a little bit on our postgraduate courses for those of you that have already got a bachelor's degree, entry requirements, scholarships, and then we'll do the Q&A session at the end. So throughout the presentation, if you've got any questions, please feel free to type those in the chat. And then when I my whistle stop of the Swansea Medical School, we'll come to the Q&A at the end, and then we'll go through all the questions that you have about us, and we'll be here to help to answer any questions then. Okay, so here we go. Just to make sure that the slides is changing over. There we are. So Swansea University. So we are a traditional university, and we're founded in 1920. So we're exactly 100 years old this year. We've got a campus, and they're both very near to a beach. So at the university, we've got 17,500 students, UK, EU students, and then we've got 3,500 international students at Swansea. We've got about 3,000 staff, and that is staff as well as academic staff, and then we've also got staff and students from over 130 countries, so it's very diverse, and you definitely find someone that you equally from India, or actually from a range of different countries as well. Okay, and the next slide will show you where we are, so it's important to know where we are based. So Wales. So on the map of the UK, you can see the little green part, that is Wales. So we're in South Wales, and we're the second largest city in Wales with a population of just over 250,000. And we mentioned earlier that we've got two seafront campuses, and we're also on the edge of the Cowra Peninsula. So I'll show you a little bit more about where is the UK first area of outstanding natural beauty. So nice in Swansea. If you speak to any staff or any students, they will tell you that they're here, because I think that we've got the best of both worlds here. Okay, and the next slide. Just waiting for it to swap over. Okay. I'm not sure that it's swapping over,
Yes.
Natalie. Can you? There we are. It's showing up now. So what's Swansea like as a city? So on here, you can see a couple of pictures. Students enjoying themselves right on a beach. There's a lot of nice area. We're very privileged right by the beach. So it's actually really nice to then have time to be right by the sea. It's walking distance to the city centre and the train station. More importantly for you as a student here, Swansea is actually the affordable city and student town in the UK. Really important for you then to make sure that when you're a student here learning to budget and knowing how much you can spend, and our students will tell you that actually it's really, really cheap to live in Swansea. Okay, on to our next. This is a bit of information about the city of Swansea. So you can see an aerial view of Swansea City. There's been a lot of development in the city centre. So there's been about £500 million worth of redevelopment in the city. We've got a Liberty Stadium, which is the home of the Swansea City football team, for those of you that are into your football. They also house the Osprey rugby team and also is a music and concert venue. Currently, right in the city centre, we've got another music stadium being built, and we're hoping that that's going to be used next year. So it's a brand new stadium for music concerts, performance facilities. Swansea's been given the title of the most welcoming, friendly and trustworthy city in the UK, and that's really true. So even if you were waiting for a bus by the bus stop, you find that you quite likely to have a conversation with another person that's also waiting for the bus. There's been a lot of development. We are a city by the sea, and then also there's lots of space as well in Swansea. So, I'll show you in my next slide. So I mentioned earlier that Swansea is near the Gower Peninsula. It's a diverse area of outstanding beauty. When you're here, you must go to see the Rossili Bay because it's rated the top 10 beach in the world by TripAdvisor. And there are about 50 beaches going west from Swansea University, so from the Singleton campus. Swansea really then combines a city life, as you can see in my previous slides of the city, and also with really beautiful scenery right on our doorstep. So there's a range of activities that you can do, water surfing, like that. And I was surfing the internet yesterday and I came across another thing on the New York Times 2021, and they've named 50 places to love in 2021, and South Wales is one of them. So it's a really, really Okay, going on to school. So showing on the screen now is our mission statement at the Also, we train tomorrow's doctors, health professionals, and life scientists using an approach that spans basic science, health and social care, and the knowledge economy. So we are a relatively young medical school. We were founded in 2004, but we are also one of the fastest growing medical schools in the UK. Our student population has increased by about 60% since 2012. So here a ranking at the medical school, and as a relatively new medical school, we're quite proud of these achievements, and these are important things for you as a to think about when you're picking your So we're a top 3 medical school in the UK. We're also top in medicine. In terms of our research, we're first in the UK for research environment. We're second in the UK for research quality. Now, this is important for you when you're doing a here at the medical school, because the latest research will inform what you're learning to make sure that you're learning from the most up-to-date information. As an institution, Swansea University is also a top 25 institution in the UK. Another thing that's important is the TEF logo that you can see at the bottom right of the screen. So that is a teaching excellence work, and Swansea's been awarded gold, which is the highest award that you can get in this framework, which means that the teaching quality is extremely high. Okay, and here's just some of the medical school facilities. So to give you an idea, because at the moment, because of restrictions, we're not able to welcome you to the campus to visit. So I wanted to use the next couple of slides to show you a little bit about what the campus looks like and what our facilities looks like as well. So we are based at the Singleton campus and across 4 different buildings. So we take up quite a lot of space on the campus. So first of all, we've got our growth building, which is our main teaching building. So building, we've got our anatomy suites, we've got clinical skills labs, space for our students studying medicine. Our new pharmacy skills suite will also be located in this building, so it will be brand new laboratory. We've got our Institute of Life Sciences buildings. So they're Wales' premier medical research facilities, and they were the single largest investment ever made by the Welsh Government on any university campus. So within these buildings, we've got facilities such as our clinical trials unit, we've got CT and MRI, wet labs for when you're doing your research and when you're doing your laboratory work, Centre for Nano Health, which is research in this particular. And we've got a lot of state-of-the-art facilities. And within things, we also have our own companies that are working within these buildings. And then finally, the one that we come to is our data science building. And it was completed in 2005, and it's the home of our patient and population informatics. So within this building, we've got population data research projects, a building that hold anonymized patient data as well, and we can undertake research to inform health development, public health, population health data. Okay, and in my next slide then, just to give you of our local hospitals, because if you're interested in medicine, you wanted to know, obviously we are affiliated to our local hospitals and our health board. So we have very close relationship, very close good working relationship with our boards and also the hospitals. Now there's 2 hospitals within Swansea. So we've got the Singleton Hospital, which is right across the road from our campus. And then we've also got another hospital called Morriston Hospital across the other side of town. So if you were to travel by bus, that would take about 30 minutes to go. So for our medical students, we have got teaching facilities so to provide an area for our students to undergo placement and their learning then. And then at the bottom of the page, just a few images on our different facilities. So you can see our scanners, and we've got mass spectrometry machine, analytical machine, and you've got study laboratory labs, also then our clinical skills suites and our anatomy suite. So just for you to see what it actually looks like inside the building. Now, I've mentioned earlier that in our Institute of Life Sciences, we've got our own startup companies. And so aside from getting involved with medicines, or aside from training to be a doctor, you can also get involved in medicine in a number of different ways. So enterprise and innovation is an important strand of the medical school. So on this slide then, I hope you can see, just checking. On this slide then, there's a number of, these are a group of, I'm not sure that the slides is changing. Okay, let's just make sure that the slides is switching over. There we are. So it's come through now. Okay, so enterprise innovation. So this is an important strand of the medical school. So on the screen that you can see here, these are just some of the companies that we work with. So some of them you can see are brands and names that you recognize. So things like Fujitsu, Siemens, household names, British Heart Foundation. But we also got our own startup company. So for example, towards the sort of top middle of the screen, there's a logo that says Carlon Cardio. And that is a Swansea University Medical School company where a cardio heart pump was recently invented. So later on in the slide, then I will show you then how this is integrated in part of your studies at another graduate level. And another way to get into medical career is to look at research. So we've got 4 themes within our research. So we've got biomarkers and genes, which is looking at using biomarkers to determine the likelihood of contracting a disease. We've got microbes and immunity, so work on things like inflammation, immunity, microbiology, and infection. We've got our medical technology and devices, which is looking at laboratory research, MRI, clinical trial studies, and applications in stem cell studies, regenerative medicine, cancer, and cardiology. And finally, our patient and population health informatics. So that is based in our data science building that I mentioned earlier, which will look at e-health and informatics research, and health services research, and population health studies. So things like emergency and 999 call analysis on their effectiveness, necessity, response time, etc. Okay, so we're moving on to... There we are. Let's come back through. We're here with us at Swansea University. So this is where we will start talk about the alternative route into medicine. So the medical program at Swansea University is at a postgraduate level, slightly different to, I suppose, a lot of the UK medical degrees, where actually you will start as an undergraduate degree. So we'll go through to talk about that shortly. And then there's a list of our undergraduate degrees as well. So we've got a range of degrees in different subject areas in various from medical sciences field that you can choose to specialize in. And then depending on what your career goal is, then to tailor it to suit which area of medical sciences you want to get into. We've also got our pharmacy degree, which is new for this year. And then we've got a wide range of postgraduate courses, so we'll come on to those. Okay, graduate entry medicine. So we'll first talk about that. It's at a postgraduate level. That all of our students going on to this course will have already got a bachelor's degree. So it's an accelerated degree, so it's only a 4 years medical degree. So a 4-year medical degree based on the fact that actually academically all of our students already got a bachelor's degree, so therefore in terms of learning our students is already at a more advanced level. Within this course then you'll have early clinical exposure. So within a week or two of starting the course, you will be going into clinical element. So it's quite early. So we teach by case-based learning, and we've got a spiral integrated curriculum. What that means is that everything you learn throughout the 4 years is repeated, and the repetition is very important in order for you to master the skills and the knowledge, because you get to practice it many times throughout the 4 years, and also learning more advanced knowledge as the years goes on. So the course is split into 4 years. The first 1 and 2, years 1 and 2, you spend more time at the university in lectures so that you get your theory and get your knowledge, but you'll still be going into clinical exposure. In years 3 and 4, then you'll be spending time in a healthcare settings, so you'll be building on your skills and knowledge, then getting you ready to go out and work as a doctor. So the course is developed and accredited by the General Medical Council in the UK. And just touching lightly on the benefit of studying medicine at a graduate level then. So all of our students would have already experienced university life. They understand what the ethos of teaching and learning is like at a university, and therefore are used to have had the experience before going on to a more intensive course like medicine, so more likely to be successful. They would have had an additional qualification as well, so you've already got a bachelor's degree under your belt, you're already a specialist in your chosen area, and now you're going on to go into medicine as well. So you bring in different experience when you mix with all of your other peers within the course. You all bring in different experience, which makes the learning environment a lot richer. And also at Swansea, our students going to become junior doctors, they are also rated the best prepared doctors on according to a recent survey, which is called the 7 Dinnery. So our students, when they go out to train as a junior doctor, they're always rated as the best prepared doctors. So for those of you who already degree and that you're looking for somewhere to study medicine, this is the entry criteria. Our intake is September 2021, and our application is still open until the end of January for this intake. So you need to have an equivalent of a 2-1 bachelor's degree in any subject. You need to have IELTS, but you must also have taken either the GAMSAT or the MCAT before submitting your application. And I'll go on to show the equivalencies of this in qualifications later on in the slides. Now, what if you're looking for an undergraduate program and that you haven't yet achieved your undergraduate degree? This is our alternative route to get into medicine with a guaranteed interview onto the 4-year graduate medicine program. So these are our list of courses in a number of different medical sciences areas. So we've got an applied medical sciences degree, medical biochemistry, medical genetics, medical pharmacology, and also population and medical sciences. So these are the 5 different medical sciences area that you can specialize in at an undergraduate degree level. And within these courses then we have built built-in module, a bespoke module to prepare you to be a doctor, to give you an insight into what being a doctor is. So these are really good options for you because it allows you to build a really solid academic foundation. You can experience what life is like at a university before then going on to a really intensive course like medicine. So within these courses then, there is an opportunity for you to specialize in the relevant medical sciences field. And within these courses then, I mentioned earlier, there is a bespoke module in the second year of the degree. So within this module is a module called Doctors, Patients and of Medicine. So it's a module that is led by a practicing clinician. And we've integrated a small element of healthcare related placement within this module so that you can go in and get your clinical placement, your experience before going on to medicine as well. And also there's specialist preparation for applications to graduate entry medicine. So within you'll get training on things like your GAMSAT and your MCAT exams. As a student at Swansea University, you get past exam papers for free for the GAMSAT exam. And training on how to prepare, how to present yourself in your application, and also how to present yourself at the interview. And these courses then, if you're looking at an undergraduate medical degree in the UK, you have to apply through UCAS. They are really good option as well, because within the UCAS application, you can only apply for 4 medical degree. So for your 5th option, you wanted to make sure that you don't waste that option and actually choose something that has got a direct route into medicine. So we talked about earlier that there are different ways of being involved in medical field. So we talked a bit about the research that takes place in the medical school. We talked about the enterprise and innovation. And then we talked about going into medicine as well. So these are strands, 3 employability strands that are built into the pathways to medicine courses. So depending on what you're interested in, then you can either pick a module that is designed to prepare you to go into medical science research, or you can choose a module that is designed for you to go into enterprise education. And then finally, then you can choose the medical science in practice, which is the doctors, patients, and the goal of module. So if you go through this module, for those of you that are interested in going into medicine, meeting all of our minimum entry criteria and also achieving minimum of 60% in this particular module and 60% overall, which is the equivalent of an upper second class degree in the UK, then you would be offered a guaranteed interview for the graduate entry medicine program. So in that case, you would then apply for graduate medicine in your final year of your degree. You'll go through the interview process in your final year. And then you will then find out by about April, May time of your degree, whether you've been offered a place. And if you have, you can go straight on from September. Now, an important thing to note here as well is that you're not just restricted to apply to universities, so you can pick graduate entry medicine from other universities as well. So I've mentioned earlier that within the UCAS application, there's 4 you can apply for. Now, a lot of our students who have decided to go on to medicine, they've ended up getting more than one medical offer from different universities, so they can actually pick where they wanted to do, and 9 out of 10 they ended up staying in Swansea because they love it so much. Okay, in my next slide, I've got a little video that I'll play for you. I hope you'll be able to hear the sound, but if there's any problem, please let me know in the chat and I will then post this video later so you can access it yourself. Okay, it doesn't seems to be working for me. Okay, I will post this in the chat later on, and then you can have a go through. And that's basically it's a little video from one of our students, just to give you an idea. He's gone through the pathway, he was successful getting into medicine, and just to let you know his feedback about the course. So, moving on to the next part. Just waiting for my screen to share back again. Apologies for all the technical issues. Okay. Apologies for all the technical difficulties. I'm just waiting for the screen to share and it doesn't seem to be working. So let me try this again. While we're doing that, I've just spotted a question coming in while I'm waiting for the screen to share about research, PhD in Immunology and Virology. Yes, definitely. So coming into a research degree is highly dependent on your research proposal. So if you're interested in research, the area of research that you're interested in, and then what our research directors will go through that by a suitable academic who's an expert area to guide you through the research in this field. Okay, so I'm able to share now, so I'll continue on this for now, and then I'll come to other questions that's come through later on. So careers is important, employability is important. So aside from training to be a doctor, these are the other careers that you can go into by studying one of these degree courses. These degrees will give you transferable degrees and transferable skills, making things a bit more flexible for you to suit your career goals. So you can actually go into a range of different careers that is on the screen. You don't just have to go into studying medicine. There's a range of specialist career that is available for from all of our BSc degrees. So they are all showing on the screen here. Things like pharmaceutical industry, going into patent law, biotechnology, and working in forensic, telehealth, etc. Okay, and the next one is about our pharmacy degree. We're excited with the launch of our new pharmacy degree, and it's the first pharmacy course in Wales for 100 years. The pharmacy program in the UK are all master pharmacy, which is a 4-year integrated master's degree, so you will graduate at the postgraduate level. The UK is a very popular destination for international students looking to study pharmacy. So typically about 15 to 20% of the students on pharmacy course are non-UK students, and the UK registration is recognised across Europe and also across the world. So it's in terms of scholarships that's available this year, all of our international students will be receiving an automatic £2,000 deduction to the tuition fees, and that would apply for all 4 years of the course. In terms of selection process, then you will also need to go into a multiple mini interview, and that will be completed remotely. Offers our interview team is already making offers as we speak, and also then within the there's placement opportunities as well in all 4 years of the course in hospital, in community settings, pharmacies, and also in practices, and it works out to be about 15 to 20 days throughout the course. Okay. Unusual compared to most other healthcare professionals in the large part of the practice trainings that actually takes place after you've graduated. You actually will do some clinical placement, but you have to learn all your knowledge and your skills, how the medicine work, and the quantity, understanding that. And then on completion of the program, then students will do a 1-year practical training. Then this will be during the final year. So on completion of this final year, then you just need to sit a qualifying exam and become a qualified pharmacist in the UK. Now, international students will be able to do that because of the post-study work visa that's been introduced. So you'll be able to continue on with the practical training. And employability. So actually being a pharmacist and training in pharmacy doesn't just restrict you to a very narrow area of work. Aside from just being a pharmacist, there is a wide range of professions that you can do after qualifying. So if you look on the screen here, you can look at pharmacy, you can look at research and development, for example, manufacturing, sales and marketing, veterinary pharmacy. So that is quite wide ranging. Okay. I think my slides seems to keep popping off for some reason. Apologies. Okay, let's try this again. Apologies for the technical issues. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to work, then I will be looking at the Q&As that's come in. So I can see one question about what's the course and scope of applied medical sciences degree. So I've mentioned earlier that there's 3 elements that you can look at trainings in. So there's the medical science research area, you can look at the enterprise and innovation, and also then going into medical training. But our students on completion of the course, and they've actually gone on to other things like going on to master's degree, studying things like nanomedicine with us. And we've also got students who's gone on to training to become a vet as well. So actually there's a lot of transferable skills that would actually allow students to go into a wide range of professions. Scope for surgery. Okay, the next question I can see, scope for surgery residency or plastic surgery coming from India with MBBS degree. So that will be going into training after you've become a qualified doctor then. So typically in the UK, you would become a qualified doctor, and then while you're working on the job, then you'll go into the specialization. So that would be that would happen then while you're working in the hospital as a doctor. And then I've got a scope of clinical research after a paramedical degree. So Research, yes, and the research elements of in one of my slides earlier, there's research themes, and that happens. So, within one of those themes, and again, we just need to identify your area of research and that you're interested in. The main thing is that we can make sure that there's a specialist within the medical school who can guide you, who is a subject specialist in your area of research. And if that's the case, yes, definitely, there would be scope to do research within the medical school. And then I can see the next question. I had a master's student in chemistry apply for research work. Yes, definitely. So again, this would then be dependent on your chosen area of research. And then the next question I have is, I've completed MBBS from China and MBA in healthcare management. I wish to upgrade my skills, which are globally acceptable. Could you guide? Okay, you might want to then look at maybe doing a specialized master's degree, which I'm just waiting for my screen to work. I can show you what we have there. It may be that you are looking at specializing in another relevant field, in medical sciences, and then you can actually integrate the skills that you've got there. Sukriti, I wanted to say also, maybe following the presentation today, come to the Swansea University booth and we can have a chat about the various different options available there in terms of postgraduate courses. Okay. International students. So I can see one of you, Prakash, I think you've done your research. You're looking at our physician associate studies. Unfortunately, not at the moment. The physician associate degree is not available to international students yet. We are looking into it, and we're hoping that we may be able to develop that in a few years' time, but not at the moment, unfortunately. So physician scientist. So I think you're referring to physician associate as well. So it may well be that there are a number of institutions that offers physician associate. I think it's a fairly relatively new program in the UK. So I think it would be dependent on whether the course becomes available to international students. I think just to keep an eye on the latest development on that area. And then I'm a student in third, doing MBBS from Ukraine. What better options do I have? Well, that's quite an open-ended question. It would actually depend on what you want to do, what your career goals are. And for anyone that's interested and that is attending right now, if you're interested in sort of talking about what options you have, come and join us at the Swansea University booth after today, after this session, and then we will be able to have a talk a bit more about the different course options that's available there. Just see if there's anything that you want. Okay, the next question. What's the scope of health informatics? How many years can we work as is a 1-year program? So, okay, the health informatics course is a 1-year program, and there is now the opportunity for international students to apply for a 2-year post-study work visa. So that would be 2 years there. And then following that, then it'll be dependent on your salary. You'll be looking at applying for a work visa, for example, that would then allow you to continue. So there are specific guidance on the UK government website in terms of what requirements there are for you then to apply for a work visa following the completion of your study visas. Okay, I seem to be having a lot of technical difficulties at the moment. So I suppose I like to just quickly go through sort of the last parts of my presentation if I can. It's just the final part of it all. So I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have to speak to you all, I think, rather than being able to share screen. So please come to the Swansea University booth after this if you wanted to discuss in a bit more details. We have the medical school here, which then will have a range of different master's courses. So for example, what I was going to get to following talking about pharmacy, for example, it's going to be a list of our top master's degrees. So I can see that some of you have already done your research and know that some of the courses that before I've even actually mentioned it. So things like health data science, health informatics, we've got genomic medicine, medical radiation physics, and then also nanomedicine, which is quite a popular course with for students from India. And then in terms of research programs, then we've got a range of different sort of masters in research programs, PhD, MPhil, MD, etc. So we can talk a bit more about that later on. So please come and see us at the booth. Um, and then we will also then be able to tell you a bit more about the entry criteria and international scholarships. So, for example, for students coming from India, you will automatically receive a Thrive bursary of £3,000 for anyone that's applying from India, as long as you have an active offer. Alternatively, then, you can apply for our International Excellence Scholarship. So if you're applying for an undergraduate program, you can receive up to £6,000 scholarship. So you will receive about £4,000 in the first year of your studies, and then the last £2,000 in the second year of your studies. That altogether is equate to about 570,000 Indian rupees. And if you're applying for a postgraduate program, you can also apply for the Postgraduate International Excellence Scholarship, which is equivalent to about £4,000 if you're successful. That is about 380,000 Indian rupees. So those cannot be combined together, but actually, even without applying for an for a scholarship, you will automatically get £3,000 off your tuition fees. It's something that we offer to students from India. So, and then we've got some upcoming open days in Swansea University. So I'm just going to put the link here. So we've got an undergraduate open day on the 13th of February. It's a virtual open day. You'll be able to look at virtual tours, speak to our current students, speak to our current academics, and there'll be live chats about money advice, sports, student union, accommodation, library, and study abroad as well. So I've just posted a link on the chat now where you can find out a bit more information and also to register. And then on the 3rd of March, we've got a postgraduate virtual open day as well. So that will be for those of you that are interested in master's courses then, and there will be a dedicated day for you to come on the course. Okay, I've just seen a question coming in. I'm a final year B Farm student from India and looking for healthcare management course. Yes, healthcare management, yes, definitely. We've actually got a presentation a bit later on this afternoon. Which is called, I can tell you now, Health and Psychology, Opportunities for Postgraduate Students. But what I could say to you is, Yukta, if you come to the Swansea University booth, my colleague Gareth Davey is there, and he is the expert on healthcare management, so he'll be able to talk to you about that. So please go to the Swansea University booth. Okay, so I'm conscious of time so that you guys have time to actually go around all the other booths and speak to different universities. So what I've done now is on the chat, I've just put in my email address. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Cecilia Wu. I'm the Internationalisation and Recruitment Manager at the Medical School at Swansea University. My email address is c.wu@swanseauniversity.ac.uk. So if you've got any questions for after today, please come and see us at the Swansea University booth. Otherwise, after today, drop me an email and we'll be happy to chat, and I can also put you in touch with our current students, our academics, etc. So I'd like to take this opportunity now to thank you all for joining me today. I hope to see you at the Swansea University booth shortly. And also apologies for all the technical difficulties with the slide sharing. I hope that you found it informative today. And if you've got any questions, let me know, drop me an email, or come and see us at the Swansea University booth. Thank you very much. Thank you.